Well, good morning. Just finishing getting adjusted there. Greetings from my backyard, and just wanted to share with you our Psalm for the day. And man, we had just a wonderful time of fellowship last night at a prayer meeting. Had some great. It's great to hear some testimonies of God working in people's lives. Some celebrations as well. Sorry, this is not working too well here. And not that the testimonies weren't working well, my camera's slipping there, so maybe we'll just try to hold it here this morning. But had just a great time last night of celebration, a great time of prayer with God's people, and it was our first Wednesday service since March 18th. That was the last time we were together, so it was nearly 3 months since we had been together. And it was just so cool, so fun, and enjoy being with God's people. But wanted to share with you our psalm for the day, our thoughts for the day, and it comes from Psalm 15. And David, writing this psalm, poses a question to the Lord. He says in verse number 1 of Psalm 15, he says, "Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill?" And so he's asking the Lord, hey, Lord, who's going to be with you for eternity? Who's going to be fellowshipping with you for eternity? And then David says, and then we see down through the rest here, he writes, he says, "He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart, he that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor, in whose eyes a vile person is contemned. But he honoreth them that fear the Lord. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not." And so we see here really a description of an individual, of those who have been changed by the Lord, and those who are, we could say, even followers of the way. Jesus described himself in John. He says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me." We find that the early Christians were accused of walking in a certain way, of living in a certain way. We also notice that as you read portions of the New Testament, descriptions of individuals who are followers of Jesus Christ, who are walking in a relationship with Jesus Christ, and it's very much that description here. Does not mean that their salvation is based upon their good works, but there's definitely a way in which we should walk as Christians. We find in Galatians chapter number 5, I believe, where it tells us we're to walk in the Spirit and not fulfill the lusts of the flesh. And so as we look at verse number 2 again, let's just kind of look at this. It says, "He that walketh uprightly," living a life that is upright and upstanding, of good character, and worketh righteousness. We see the good works, which works don't give us salvation, they prove our salvation, they show our salvation, and speaketh the truth in his heart. "He that backbiteth not with his tongue," so even our speech is affected and controlled by our walk in the Spirit. "Nor doeth evil to his neighbor." Once again, we're loving one another, treating others correctly. "Nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor." And so even in regards to relationships, wanting what's best for our neighbor, for those we come in contact with. And that is so very, very important. Even as we talked last night about loving one another, it says, even "nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor." So willing to swallow our pride from time to time, saying, you know what, I know I might be right in this situation, but for the sake of the relationship, I'm not going to pursue this any further, wanting to lead other people to Christ. And so maintaining that right relationship with God and also with our neighbors, those we come in contact with. "In whose eyes a vile person is contemned, but he honoreth them that fear the Lord. And he that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not." And then lastly, in verse number 5, we see, "He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent." And so we see even in regards to our finances is addressed here. "He that doeth these things shall never be moved." And as we think about that thought, he that doeth these things shall never be moved, this is speaking to the happiness, the joy that there is in a relationship with Jesus Christ. When we are right with him, we shall not be moved from that joy, from that happiness. Doesn't mean our circumstances won't change, because my goodness, do they ever change? And we see that quite often. But speaking to the joy that there is in serving Jesus, the happiness that there is in knowing that you're right with the Lord. And so what we want to do is we want to maintain that right relationship with God. David asked the question, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? In verse number 1. And there's then a description of those who are following the way and walking in the way, which is Jesus Christ. And then it says in verse number 5, he that doeth these things shall never be moved. Man, how powerful that is. Remember Jesus, when he was addressing his disciples, he says, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. That's kind of the challenge here in verse number 5, to live rightly so that we maintain a correct relationship with Jesus Christ. And how powerful that is. There's true joy in serving Jesus. There's happiness. Remember Psalm 1, blessed is the man, or happy is the man, and then it goes through. That walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. And so happy is that man, and that's the man that's described here in verse number 15. Hey, you want to be happy, want to live a happy life, live a right life according to Jesus Christ. And we go to Galatians chapter 5, where we're to walk in the Spirit. And we look at what the fruit of the Spirit is. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Well, thanks for being with me today. Always enjoy it. Enjoy the beautiful day today. It's nice and cool at this moment, but I think it's supposed to warm up. Looking forward to that. Don't forget, this Sunday we have Sunday school at 9:45, our morning service at 10:30, and looking forward to those times together. We have a Sunday school class for every age group, adult class, a young couples class, teenagers have classes, and then our young people also have classes as well. So looking forward to that being together on Sunday. Well, Lord bless you. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.